All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's edition of Sierra Live Q&A. My name is Robert Sagers. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Sierra Interactive. And today, as always, on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, it's my privilege to be with you to answer any Sierra-related questions that you have. I'm going to bring all my Sierra-related answers. You bring all of your Sierra-related questions, and we will do our best to talk about this platform, how you can utilize it well, and how you can get a tremendous amount of success out of it. So if you're watching on Zoom, you can send in any questions that you have in one of two ways. You can send them in the chat box or in the Q&A box. Either one works. Or if you're watching on Facebook Live right now, you can go ahead and send in your questions as a comment beneath this video. Either one works. So I'll be looking for those comments in Facebook, and I'll be doing my best to answer all of those questions. I'll be looking for the questions coming in via the chat box or the Q&A box in Zoom. I'll be looking for those as well. Already, I can see that I've got a question in Zoom, so I'll just go ahead and get started. This is from Jackie. Jackie, I don't know where you're located. If you tell me, then I'm able to shout out your hometown. Jackie asks, hello, I'm setting up single property sites. How exactly do I go about getting domains for each property? Cool. Yeah, one of a few different ways you've got in terms of doing that, Jackie. Give me 1 second. Let me jump into the back end of this site. So here is a demo account I am emulating myself. If I click on the gear icon, I'm going to come to property sites. Here's where I can create up to 100 single property sites. If not using one, I can archive it, move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add New Site and just click Save so that it catches. What you're referring to is down here in domain mapping. You've got one of three different options for a domain. You can register a new domain through Sierra. Like you can go ahead and type in the domain you want, like myawesomepropertyissocool.com. And we'll go to check availability. And lo and behold, the domain is available, myawesomepropertyissocool.com, and I can purchase it right here. This is probably the fastest way to make it happen. It's going to cost you $16, and you're going to see that charge every year that you keep the domain. All right. Or you can purchase that domain in another place. You could go to GoDaddy or domain.com or wherever and purchase the domain there. You might find it less expensive than $16. Then what you'll do is at that place, say GoDaddy, you'll need to update the A record there to point to this AP address and follow these instructions. Lastly, you've got a third option, and one that I would probably recommend. If you go to the knowledge base and you type in single property site and you find the knowledge base article on single property sites, Jackie, and anybody else watching this, here is this article. If you scroll down just a little bit, you can optionally choose to create single property sites as subdomains with our help. So instead of creating a separate domain every time, you could buy one domain that might be like jackiesproperties.com. And you can ask Sierra in the way that's described here to enable subdomains so that you could have like 123 Cantor Lane.jackiesproperties.com, 456 Conestoga Avenue.jackiesproperties.com. That way you buy one domain and you can create subdomains out of it and never have to purchase another domain. All right, so anything else about single property sites, I definitely suggest that you check out this knowledge base article. It has a lot of information about it. We've recently published some pretty significant updates to single property sites. In fact, if you go to the announcements section, which every primary manager and manager level user will see, beneath the light bulb icon, go to announcements, scroll on down just a little bit, and you'll find right here, August 9th, Sierra single property sites have never been better, and it gives a list of all of the recent updates we've made related to single property sites. All right, I'm looking for additional questions. You can send them in Zoom, either via the Q&A box or the chat box, or you can send them in via Facebook as a comment just below this video. Let me check and see if we got anything going there. Not yet. All right, so while we're waiting for the next question, I am going to point out a few different things in the admin area that may be helpful for you to see. I've already mentioned the announcements section, and Below that is the request a feature feature. Here's where you've got 3 votes to submit new feature requests or vote on existing ones. You can see that mobile app for the CRM is #1. Actively getting that developed right now. Even did some work on that yesterday related to providing feedback to a couple members of our team, and that's rolling. It's going. We're getting close to a beta on that. The question mark inside the speech bubble, everybody sees this knowledge base. It is searchable. It is extensive. And right here below that, everybody also will see this agent level getting started guide. There are 7 videos here, less than 15 minutes of content total. This is designed to help you onboard your team well. Certainly would recommend that everybody watch these videos if they're going to be managing leads within Sierra. The primary manager and manager level users on every team are also going to see this getting started guide for account admins. Now there's 7 sections here, 26 videos, just over 1 hour of content. Treat this like a checklist for site health. If you are able to watch these videos and do what these videos are instructing you to do, you can be very confident to know that your site is in a good and healthy place. Now that said, there's a few things that are not included here I want to just point out to you. Check out the knowledge base article on the integrations manager, the sidebar manager, the section manager, and the agents manager. All right, we've got some additional questions in Zoom. Gary, I don't know where you are located. If you tell me where you are, then I'll give your place of residence a shout out. Gary says, I am having trouble getting drip campaigns to work. All right, so Gary, if you've got some additional feedback or details about that, please let me know. All right, sunny South Florida, very good. My family and I were in the Fort Myers area in February, leaving Louisville for a time and had a great time there. So definitely understand the appeal of Florida in February. All right, Jackie, so I'll wait, Gary, for your additional feedback. And if it's just generally speaking, drip campaigns are difficult for you, then I'm going to go into some detail. But if there's something specific I can answer for you, let me know. Jackie says, me again. Hello, Jackie. I would like to assign leads that come in daily to my floor person. I don't see where I can pick a date. I see a time and day. Not a date. Is this possible? All right, so what Jackie's referring to is in lead routing. Each individual lead routing rule, without going into detail about everything here, defaults to 24/7. However, you can modify this so you can select certain days and times of day. Unfortunately, there's not an ability for you to select a specific date. I could see how that would be really helpful to have, but it is not there yet. All right. Gary asks, my problem, this is related to the drip campaigns, my problem is it seems that campaigns to send out the second time, the initial email goes out, but nothing later. All right, so when you're setting up drip campaigns, you can do that. There's 3 different types of follow-up campaigns in Sierra. Drip campaigns, which are email only, and then there are 2 different action plan types, traditional and fully automated. You haven't asked about action plans, you've asked about drip campaigns, so let me head there. Drip campaigns are email only. I think I just may have mentioned that. You can create a custom drip campaign, give it a title, choose who it should be for, whether or not it should be just for you or for everyone, give it a description, and then you've got this couple different options. You can start sending the emails based on the start date of the campaign. You can manually assign them in an individual lead detail page from the lead dashboard to 1 or more leads from there. And then automatically in your tracking links and in the lead routing rules, there's an option for you. Or you can choose based on fixed date. And this would be nice for like home anniversaries or based on holidays, something like that. You might have a drip campaign. Now there is this option to pause the campaign if a lead replies to a campaign email. So Gary, if you've set that to yes and somebody replies, well then that second email won't ever go out. So beyond that, every email should go out. If you have this set to no, even here. So if you, I'm nearly certain. So if you're having trouble with that, what I'd love, so that I don't get into your account and show that for everybody to see, I would love for you to send the name of the drip campaign you're having trouble with to support@sierrainteractive.com and say that very thing that you told me you're having trouble with, any email beyond the first one going out, and we'll definitely be able to look into that for you in some detail. There may just be an issue with the setup or the expectation of how it works or something along those lines. Hopefully it'll be really straightforward. I just don't really want to jump into your account and your admin for people to see at the moment. Okay. All right, Gary has a follow-up question. Gary from sunny Southern Florida says, where do you set up the parameters for the search from here? Okay, so I think, Gary, what you're talking about, if you click on Save Searches, go to Save Searches again. This is where you can set up search parameters in terms of a saved search. Simply click on New Save Search. You can give it a name and fill out any of the criteria available to you from the MLS, including drawing a map. And then you've got these searches available. If you click View, it'll take you to a unique URL on the front end of the site. You can favorite them, which then makes them available in your tracking links, in your lead routing rules, as well as when you're adding a saved search or a market report, market update to an individual lead in a lead detail page. Or you can simply go to an individual lead detail page and set up a save search e-alert or a market report from scratch. Just go to the individual lead record, go to the searches tab right here, and you can click on create save search or create market update. Save searches, generally speaking, are for your buyer leads. Market updates, generally speaking, are for your seller leads. Here's your favorited list of favorited searches by clicking on that heart that I showed you in Save Searches, or you can set it up from scratch right here. Very similar setup for market updates. So it could be, Gary, that we had a little bit of a miscommunication about the difference between a drip campaign and a Save Search e-alert as it relates to Sierra. I was showing you drip campaigns earlier, but I'm guessing now with your follow-up question that you're actually talking about Save Search e-alerts. So if you're having trouble with the second one going out, just make sure that when you create it, that you have set up for new listing email alerts to go out with the search, set to yes, and then the frequency. And it's possible that you just haven't had any new properties added that match the criteria of the Save Search e-alert since the first one has gone out. Now, one thing that I would, all right, so Gary says, I'm doing this but cannot connect it to a drip, so it continues. That's right. The Save Search e-alerts and the drip campaigns are separate functionalities. So I will speak to that in just a moment. When you set up a Save Search e-alert, let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you about that. Of course, leads can unsubscribe from them. So as soon as new listings that hit the MLS that match the criteria of your Save Search e-alert, as soon as they hit the MLS, come to your site, then a Save Search e-alert will go out the next time that it is scheduled. So if it's as soon as new listings hit the site, theoretically it could go out within 15 minutes. If it is, once a day, it'll go out the next morning. If you're curious about the difference between a Save Search e-alert and a drip campaign, you can check out the knowledge base documentation. Or what I probably would recommend to you, Gary, is watching these videos in the account level, the admin level getting started guide. This will walk you through, for example, if you go to engage your leads, there is a section, a small video for Save Search e-alerts and market updates, just over 2 minutes long. And then create a drip campaign, which is different functionality, just under 2 minutes long. That's what I would suggest. That is in the engage your lead section of the admin level getting started guide. Definitely recommend that you watch all of those videos. Recommend that all of our clients watch all of those videos. All right, Gary in sunny South Florida says, another question is, why when I go into a lead to make changes, does the system treat me like I am the customer and not the agent? It could be what you're referring to as you're logged into an account on the front end site, and your login in the admin area is different than your fake lead account login on the front end of the site. So that might be what you're experiencing, Gary. If you have any follow-up questions about that, please let me know. All right. I am looking for Additional questions? Connor in maybe less sunny Seattle says, howdy, no questions, is watching. Hello, Connor. Good to see you. All right. Gary says, no, I'm in the back side where I enter new leads. All right. Well, that might be a good question just because I'm not. If you want to give me a little bit more detail, Gary, about what you mean by the system is treating you like a lead and not as an agent, please let me know. Absolutely. Whenever you're logged into the admin area, you will be in there as an agent and not, or a member of a team and not a lead. Leads would never get in here. All right. Looking for additional questions. Connor, how is it today in Seattle? Is it sunny? I just make comments like that, you know, less than sunny Seattle. I said maybe because I think there's just, well, Seattle, who knows? You could rain every day there. Portland, I will say, has quite a few beautiful sunny days. All right. I am looking for additional questions. All right, Gary's given me a little bit more detail about this. We're going to try and track it down together. Appreciate your persistence, Gary. If I go to an existing lead and go to a particular customer, as soon as I go in, the chat pops up, says welcome back. Okay, so there is this functionality called an on-site message overlay. My emulation timed out. Hang on a second. So if we go into a lead record, and we go to site message, this is where we can drop, and I demonstrated this functionality, I think, in last Thursday's Q&A session. If you want to go watch that in the Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Sierra Interactive. It's a mastermind group. It's for clients whose sites are live. And Gary, I don't know if your site is live to the world yet. You can add an on-site message overlay. So the next time the lead comes back to your site, then they're going to see this little overlay pop up that says, hey, you know, lead, check, how's it going? So imagine that you've got here Mr. Test Lead who gave us a bad phone number, like we've tried calling or texting, we can't get a hold of him. And we really want to call them because when we go to properties, we can see that they're consistently coming back to the site maybe, and maybe even like saving properties. So we want to get a hold of them. So we just would go to summary, we'd go to on-site message. You can make this a part of a traditional action plan, or you can just do it as a one-off. And you can say like, you know, hey, Test, would love to get in touch with you. Mind confirming the best number I can reach you at. And you can go ahead and add that message. And the next time that they come to the site, it's going to pop up and it's going to say, hey, exactly what it says there. And they can, if you choose it, you know, they can reply to you, they can update their profile, maybe give you their better phone number, that kind of a thing. All right, so if you have any more detail than that, please let me know, Gary. It's possible that you're logged in. Yeah, I just don't know. So if we're not able to get on the next follow-up, then I would just suggest that you email support@sierrainteractive.com. We can continue the discussion there. Connor replies and says, what does sunny mean? Absolutely. Yeah, it's sometimes people of another generation, Connor, will refer to younger people with that phrase. That's what it means. At least that's what it means in Seattle, I think. All right. Gary says, another question is when we enter a new lead, the lead source is asked, can we put in our own fields in there? Or are we stuck with the ones we have in there now? The vast majority do not apply to me anyway, but a specific thing I create would be good. I will work with it and see where I go. Okay, yeah, absolutely, Gary. You can just click on the gear icon and go to Manage Lead Sources. And here you can add additional lead sources. And you can edit, delete, activate, deactivate existing lead sources. You got a bunch of system ones and then your custom ones. If you go to leads then and go to add lead and it asks for that source, it will then display here. All right, I'm looking for additional questions. Q&A box or the chat box in Zoom, or comments in Facebook Live. You're welcome, Gary. All right, Jackie asks, Jackie, where are you located? Third question, I feel like it's time for me to get an answer. Where you're at. Sanibel, another Floridian, great, cool. All right, Jackie says, I am adding testimonial. What exactly is a tag? Sanibel's beautiful, by the way. All right, so we will go to content and we've got testimonials here, and you can create a new testimonial. And when you go into that testimonial, you can add tags. So maybe you'll add a tag for like Butchertown is an area in Louisville, or a tag that's called Robert, and it's all Robert's testimonials or whatever. And maybe we go and we create a content page. And here also I'll show you, if you go to content and go to testimonials, you've got a little tab in the upper right where it says manage tags. And it shows you the number of testimonials that have that tag applied. That matters because when you go to a content page, let's say that we want to create a Butchertown content page. And here we've got a couple that we are actively working on. We're going to click to, I'll just grab a different one. Let's go down to, let's say we want to add, we've got our content page. We want to add some testimonials with the Butchertown tag or the Robert tag. If we click on add new page component, we're going to pull in our testimonials and we're going to pull them in by tag. That's why the tags matter. So you slap a tag onto all the testimonials that you want to have that tag, and then you go to a content page and you say, I want to pull in all the testimonials that have this tag. I want to pull in all the testimonials related to Butchertown neighborhood. I want to pull in all the testimonials about Robert. And then I can add them here. You've got a couple different ways you can add them. Call out, so they go one, 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 and scroll through, or sequential, which means that they display all the way down. And you can give that widget a name. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions about that. Jackie. All right. Loving the Florida today. Looking for some additional questions. You can ask it as a comment in Facebook, or you can ask it as a question in the Q&A box or the chat box in Zoom. All right, I'll start landing the plane, and if I see any additional questions come in, then I will answer them. One thing I do want to mention before I go is if you want to take your experience with Sierra and the Sierra community to the next level, you'll want to join us for the first ever, the inaugural Sierra Summit. That is March 4th, 2020. You can purchase those tickets at sierrainteractive.com. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see a little call out or whatever, a box for Sierra Summit 2020. You'll want to be there. We've already dripped out some of the speakers and the topics at a general level within the mastermind group. If you go there and you go to the announcements tab, you'll find some of those things. But this is and we already had a ton of you sign up. This is going to be an event that is devoted exclusively to you, the Sierra community, and it is intended to make it so that you'll be able to come away with actionable takeaways, energized and empowered. As we're going ahead and drafting out the topics for each session, like the titles, the subtitles all begin with how to. So we definitely want you to come and enjoy your time here in Louisville. We'll be at the Seelbach Hotel downtown, and historic hotel. Notice I said and historic hotel. within Louisville, really nice, and we'll be together all day, including the after party that night. If you're wondering about that investment of time and money to be able to come to Louisville for one day, don't worry. You can tack on a couple extra days by attending the Real Estate Distilled Conference. It's at the same location the following 2 days, the Thursday and Friday of that week, March 5th and 6th. You can find out more about Real Estate Distilled by going to Real Estate Distilled, like distillery, like bourbon, like Kentucky, .com. realestatedistilled.com. All right. Well, not seeing any additional questions, I'll go ahead and wrap up. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you on Thursday, and I'll talk to you then. Have a good day.